again that I did not get this to you guys ahead of time.
It
I
is
understand
partially
we've
my
all
fault.
been crazy.
I stole you for like 20 minutes.
So, well, and I've actually been answering 5 different people's design questions in this class, so
Oh my gosh.
it's been fun.
I'm
Nope, that's all right. Okay, so in terms of the agenda, let's go through a quick status report. I imagine that most people have been working on the presentations, but I just want to know what work, if any, has been done on the SDD.
I've mainly just been updating the UML that I had from last week, so I went through, redid that, and then I'm still working on the oh man, I did another one of the entities and it has now escaped my mind. Either way, I have 2 UML that I'm going to be putting in there, and then the component UML, but that's for my presentation. So
Now I know that's what you've been doing. What about your team?
my team so far has not done anything. They're just focusing on the presentations.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll just leave it there.
Okay. Matt, what about you?
So when we started our work on Monday, all I was shown was the SDD version 1. And so since we weren't able to do anything, I just created a separate document, which I showed you earlier. So we have done like 90% of the work, but we just need to put it into the SDD version 2. But
Okay.
that was kind of my question is I just found out there's an SDD version 2 with comments today. So I don't know which one I should put my stuff in. So
And that's been, I've actually gotten that question from a number of people. I'm trying to understand where these 2 versions of the document. And I've asked the people to respond to me on that, and then I get nothing. So I'm trying to understand, is that from like the class summary document that you've been finding 2 versions?
The class summary is where I found the SDD version 2. And I was going to put mine in. On Monday, Chuck just went through with me how he was setting it up. So let me actually, I'll just copy and paste the.
Because whatever's in the class summary, from my understanding, there's only one link, and that's the one with the class comments on it.
The one that I got from there weren't any comments. Am I able to?
And it might have been that you were blocked from your permissions, because we did have some permission problems going on. And if you only have the
version 1, I think that's because you guys sent that one out to the professor already, and that made sense why you guys locked that one. But we ended up just doing ours in a separate one, and so we were going to upload it to version 2 when we were able to find it.
Okay. But everyone's getting to the document from the class summary page. What I don't want to have happen is people going and editing a different document. Is that kind of where the route that people have been taking, or?
Yeah, I actually found the one without edits. That one was in the summary. I would love to send you a copy of it. Maybe I'll just put it into Slack for you.
Yeah, because I'd like to just go and delete it if it's there.
Okay, I just put
it is there.
I just put on the lead for him right there. This one is without comments.
Okay. That's good to know. I think that the one in the class summary page, you're saying that it does go to the link. Okay, well, I'll look at that later and just make sure that that's all working. Okay.
It might have been changed because I copied that link and just put it in there on Monday or Sunday or something like that. So if it's been changed since then yeah.
Yeah. Fine. Okay. Let's see. Uh-oh, did I close my window? 1 second. Where is? Okay, I guess I didn't update this one. This is week 10 to week 11. There we go. Sorry. Been a long week, right, everybody? Okay. So I'll make sure that that's taken care of. Andrew, what about sorry, Matt, was there anything else you needed to report on?
Yeah, we did all our diagrams. We just and we reformatted a little bit of the way everything was structured in our section only, of course. Not necessarily too big, but some things were like out of line, and so Bud decided to take on that one on. We have a little bit more to do because we have to insert it in, and Chuck showed me how he did it earlier in the other document. So we'll slowly put that in probably on Saturday. But yeah, so all our work you'll see on Saturday.
Okay.
We still have a little bit more to do after that, but Yeah.
Okay. And there's been a couple, just a few updates as well from Brother Brother Williamson we'd like to get in, and I'll go through that in just a second. But okay, Andrew.
Yeah, my guys, I sent like a really long message to them and they read it and they were able to see some of them. And quite a few of them have started doing the diagrams and revisions. Andrew Garber even, he said that he helped remodel our section a little bit according to what you said in the video. I don't see any difference, but that's what he said he did. But they are doing the diagrams eventually.
Okay.
Some of them have trickled in some here and there, and yeah.
Okay.
Mark's back too. He's doing good.
Yeah, that's good. Okay, Sarah. Sarah Brote?
Yep. We're just kind of waiting.
Right? Yeah, I do have a couple things that you guys can do beforehand, and we'll get to that in just a second, okay? Okay. In terms of deliverables, I think we're going to skip that unless you guys have any questions. You can refer to that in terms of time frames. In terms of assignments, so nothing's really changed for your section, Andrew. Just the only thing is that as you come up with those component diagrams, Matt, Brother Williamson said that all of the diagrams should be going into the section 2 rather than being scattered or interspersed throughout section 4. Okay?
No, and we've actually reformatted almost all of our diagrams. So they don't, yeah, they all look the same color. I mean, there are a few of them that look nicer, but those are probably the first 2 or 3.
Yeah. Now what's going to happen is you're going to get a bunch of diagrams, and I do worry a little bit about consistency from this, but I think Brother Williamson will be just fine with it. But you're going to get a bunch of diagrams from Sarah, from your wife, and from Andrew. Yep. You'll be getting a bunch of diagrams from Andrew and also from Sarah, which you need to go into that section too.
Area, or are they for other areas?
Therefore, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just saying, yes, that is good clarification.
Because I mean, we've got one for every section. I mean, yeah, for every subcomponent and for every sub-entity. We have made one for that, with the exception of the sub-entities. So we've got quite a bit.
So not the sub of the sub-entities. Okay.
So one.
So help me. I guess I'm trying to make sure that we're not having people do duplicate work, right? Because Sarah's team's was going to go through and do some component diagrams of the different entities. But if you've already broken a bunch of those down.
Well, but he did it in his area.
If there's a way to share my screen on this, then
there is the little green icon.
This one?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll share my screen, and then I'll just kind of scroll down slowly with what
I'll take notes as Stephen if you want to let me know what.
Okay. Is this big enough for everybody, or should I make it smaller or bigger?
I can see it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to delegate. Matt, and I'm going to say that you and Andrew and Sarah get together and make sure that you're not duplicating work.
Okay.
And anything that your team has already done, they can skip over in their sections, okay?
Okay, that's fine.
Okay, so then when we do make the diagrams, we should actually be putting it up into.
That's what Brother Williamson said.
Okay.
Here,
Andrew, do you want to stay after the meeting for like 15 minutes with Matthew and I?
Yeah, I could do that.
Okay, cool.
Okay. I'm just trying to make sure this runs efficiently as possible. If you do want to talk about a couple things, Matt, that's okay.
Awesome. Fine. I just wanted to make sure that nobody else was doing extra work that they didn't need to do.
And I'm glad you brought that up because I don't want that to happen.
Yeah.
Right. And so if the 3 of you can coordinate, that would be great. Okay. Okay. So the other thing then, Matt, is and again, depending on the workload, the other thing that Brother Williamson wanted us to do is those high-level components. He wants us to hyperlink them to the sections in section 4.
Oh.
Okay.
Well, you know what? Okay, if we go through the UML and find out that my team doesn't have a ton to do, we can do that.
Yeah, well, your team also will have a ton to do. I mean, there's a ton to do regardless.
Okay.
Because there's a UML diagram. What I wanted you to do was to focus on the UML diagram.
Yeah.
And we could, I don't want your team, Matt, to feel overwhelmed either. But we do need hyperlinks. And so what that means is that we have this app data model. For example, I don't know, on Google Docs, you can come in here and you can say, make this a bookmark.
Yeah.
Right? And then up here, you can see I've already got these bookmarks up here. You can change these or set up. What just happened? Okay, well, I won't make a bookmark there.
Okay, so yeah, so you
Yeah, but you'll come in here, make this a link. Let's say I'm going to make this into a link. Bookmark, not bookmark. I want to make it insert a link, right? And then it brings up your different pieces. Here you can actually go through and link to the different models: cloud storage controller, internal storage, wherever you've set those bookmarks.
Okay. So I would need to
Okay.
mark the area first that I want to go to, and then link it.
Yep.
Okay.
So he said that from the architecture section, he wants to be able to just click it and go right to the section.
Okay. I can do that on Saturday then. I'll have like half the team working on that while the other team is inserting it in.
Yeah. And again, if the three of you want to work out, if you want the other teams to take more diagrams and your team to focus more on hyperlinks, that's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it depends on what everyone else says, because I mean, depending on how much they've done, we may have already done all the ones we need to.
We'll find out.
Yeah.
But if we need to do more, we can decide upon that then. Yeah.
So my UML, though, just to clarify, Stephen, my UML that I currently have in the options should actually be moved up to Matthew's section.
Yeah.
Okay,
And that's, I haven't created the summary, but I would recommend that you guys watch it 2x the video. It looks like I'm not going to get to that today, but the review video from Brother Williamson.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know, you can watch that on YouTube at twice the speed and it goes through fast.
Perfect.
And then you just slow it down at the parts that are important. So,
Perfect.
okay. So there's that piece, Matt. The other piece to make note of, and this is for everyone, is that areas that we have not, like if there's some pieces that we need to actually add of entities that we've already gotten that don't meet in the traceability matrix, like sub-entities and client synchronization, like we need to fill those out. But whole sections that we've missed, like notification system or notification view, we can put those into the limitation section and say, well, due to time, we're skipping over these requirements. Okay.
But you still want to have
Brother,
them in there even if we're not going to be using them.
Do we still want them to?
Are you saying
what do
like
you mean?
we'll be inserting them for later versions, or are we just not going to have time to for this class?
We're not going to have time to get to them.
Okay.
And Brother Williamson said we can use it as our get out of jail free card. Constraints. We haven't broken down these sections of the SRS.
Okay.
Which is awesome.
All right. So we'll just have to label that they're not going to be able to be addressed at this time.
Yeah, if you've already done diagrams for those, because I know I had assigned that to you, Matt, we would just say that the sub-entities have not been broken down due to time constraints.
Okay. Yeah, no, sure. Yeah, let me see. I'm just checking to see if we've made them. It doesn't look like we have.
Okay. So that, Matt, that's your section. I'm going to jump down to Sarah's section. Again, the priority here, Sarah, is the UML diagram, Sarah Catan. The making sure those are done. Brother Williamson wants us to drive for completion and then focus on consistency.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's get the diagrams done. Make sure that's all there.
Yep.
And then we need to go back and format the sections. Do you have any questions about your assignment?
I don't at this time, no.
And Sarah Catan?
No, you've done a great job. I've been asking all mine. You're good.
Okay. Jordan, I'm going to have to meet with Jordan, but I'll go. His section is the same. He's got to focus on the user interface. We need to drive that section 6 to completion. I've asked him to come up with 3 or 4 designs and then 3 scenario designs, similar to what you would have done in CS246, where you walk through step by step. And I think you do that also in 371, if I remember correctly, kind of as you walk through the scenario.
Yeah.
So he's going to come up with 2 or 3 examples of that, kind of a representative sample. It's not going to be every user interface design, but again, it's to show to Brother Williamson we know what we're doing. Through and fix his section as well. Okay. Sarah, in terms of your section, can your team copy over the definitions from SRS into the section 1, like Brother Williamson talked about?
Yes. Do we need to add any definitions?
I don't know. That's what I was hoping that we could put in our limitations if we needed to and say, due to time constraints, if any definitions are missing, it's due to time constraints.
Okay.
Right?
I think that's
And then see if he complains about it, then, you know, we'll go back and add those in. But let's get those in. Have your team remove the appendices section. Neil already mentioned to me that she had gone and updated the traceability matrix, but just make sure that that's complete. I don't want to review it. Can you make sure that you review it?
Yep.
Okay. If I need to, I can review it, but let it go through you first. Also, the Google Docs isn't keeping up to date with the structure. So I was just wondering, can we just use the table of contents, that feature that Google Docs has, to create the table of contents? I know that that Chuck will probably go and do his own thing on Word, and we can just delete it. But while he's reviewing the live doc, which he will do for the next 2 versions, I'd say let's just auto-generate it in Google Docs. That way there's no confusion from him on what's going on there. Okay. Was your team able to meet with Sarah Catan and Jordan? Jordan's team?
Not
It sounded like you did. You met with Jordan?
They met. Chuck was able to meet with Jordan. He hasn't been able to meet with Sarah yet. I'm aware of.
no, not yet.
Okay.
Sorry, this week I still feel really bad because I have never, oh my gosh, either way.
Is that about
That's all
how to
right.
format once you're adding stuff in?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he met with me as far as that goes. Yeah.
Well, and then also he's supposed to walk you through how to flatten the hierarchy to make your sections look like 4.7.3, and also what Jordan's team did in the client synchronization sections. Okay.
What time in general, Sarah? Actually, I'll send you a message on. Actually, I'll send Chuck a message.
Yep. Yeah. Coordinate with Chuck. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. The other thing, was there anything else, Sarah? I think that's it. It's just reviewing, going through in the reviewings. Oh. So which team thinks they have more time to actually go through and add all this stuff to the limitations section?
To the what?
Limitation section?
So the limitation section, for example, I have all of these high-level pieces that, now some like assignment view we have in the document, we need to go and finish those out. But group work, notification system, notification views, pin code access, a bunch of these need to be added in as saying we're not going to do these due to time constraints.
Yeah, because none of those 4 are, well, at least notification system and notification view are not even in the STD as far as I could see.
Yeah,
but we need to
they're not.
include them.
They weren't assigned out, and so we would have to put them in the limitation section, and then in the traceability matrix we would go and mark those off as the requirement being met, and in the limitation section.
Okay, and then where is the limitation?
Okay.
Okay. Let's see.
Matt, you're sounding like you're wanting to do that. Are you wanting to take that on?
I mean, I don't mind doing it. I'm needing to figure out where the limitation section is. Are we putting that?
I feel like we didn't really put very much into the limitations originally, and is that kind of what you're
1.3. 1.3. Yeah, and so the limitations is essentially Brother Williamson is saying, I will abide by whatever rules you put into 1.3, right?
Yeah.
And so if you say you're not going to do these areas of the section because you ran out of time, then that's fine. And I'm not going to mark you down, or I'm not going to grade you negatively because you added it as a limitation. I mean, I don't think that we could say we did not do the software design document due to time constraints, right? But specific areas that we didn't address will go into the limitations. Matt, you were looking like you wanted to do that?
I mean, we can do that. As far as the things that you have kind of listed in the limitation section of the week 10, week 11, we can add those into there.
Yeah.
But I'm guessing you want more in there than just those four that you have.
We can start with those. I think that these other areas actually need to actually go into, people need to go and check their sections and verify it against the traceability matrix. And that's also the work in the week. For example, assignment view, the things that are in assignment view should be getting that. We have a section already for that. So we need to either make sure that it's met in the traceability matrix. We don't have to break down more entities, just put more responsibilities under the same entity like Andrew's team did.
Just more entities under it.
So let's bring up the document. So if you look at Andrew's section on 4.7.3, and a lot of this is just to try and simplify things, right? So he has this create task here. Now, called when the user creates a new task. This function will create a new task instance and pass it to the task repository, right? So he could have broken down and gone more levels deep. Let's create tasks. Let's create the task repository. We're going to do data layer. Now we're going to do a MySQL data handler. Now we're going to do a MySQL row handler and all that stuff, or unit of work entity or whatever, right? Instead, it's just a high-level description of the subordinate. So if the requirement isn't being met, just add another sentence to an existing entity saying that meets that requirement. Okay, and don't break it down any further.
So if I understand this correctly, you want me to go through all of...
I'm not asking you. This is for this is Jordan's team, Sarah's team, and Andrew's team.
Okay.
Because you're in the architecture. That I'm talking about those other pieces that are not being addressed in these matrix with holes. The teams need to go through and make sure that the home page is meeting all the requirements. Traceability matrix, there's a bunch of holes, things that are missing.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Makes sense. Thank you for the clarification.
No, that's good. You're already doing the limitations, and you're doing a bunch already. I don't want to. And in terms of priorities, it's the UML diagrams, the user interface, and then filling out the traceability matrix. Going through and making the document more consistent is a lower priority than making sure that everything's complete.
Okay.
And what that also means is in terms of sections, and this was, and we talked about this with Brother Williamson, but Sarah, Jordan, and Andrew, that means going down further levels of the traceability matrix. Okay.
So we need to do more of the traceability matrix, correct?
Yeah, that's what I mean. So if you look at it, right now we have 4.2, 4.3. This is pointing to the old one. This is the, okay. Well, Tennille already did a bunch of work, so stick it with this one. I made a copy of the document for this, but I think I'm going to have to link that from the, but yeah. So we're going to need additional sections. So 4.2.1, 4.2.2, 4.2.3. Do you see what I'm saying? Does that make sense, Sarah, Jordan, and Matt?
Yes.
Or not Matt, Sarah, Jordan, and Andrew?
Yeah.
Oh,
Right.
Was that
the
like
4.3, those correspond to the sections in the STD, correct?
Yep, these correspond to the sections in the SDD.
Okay. And you want us to take it one step further, or you want us to leave it there?
One step further. So let's see.
How would you, yeah, I was like, how would you actually label that?
Let me just show. I love how Google will default to the user account that doesn't actually have access to the document.
That's funny.
Okay. So for example, 4.2 needs to have, this would go 4.2.1.
Okay, got it. So we're just be putting it in between.
And that's where the work comes in with flattening the hierarchy, right? And I know that for some, because of the way the organization structure is, you really only have like that one is like the component identifier or whatever, and then you only have a bunch of levels underneath. Even if you only had 4 columns of 4.2.1.1, and then 4.2.1.2, 4.2.1.3, right? You don't have to go 4 levels deep. We need to go to the entities directly underneath 4.2 and break that down, okay?
Yep. Yep.
Does everybody understand? I know you're saying yes. I want to make sure that that makes sense to Andrew and also to
Yeah,
I'll
I'm pretty
clarify
sure
with
I
Jordan.
understand because I think I was doing that the first time, but it seems like it was not saved. I'm pretty sure my group was doing that the first time.
Okay. I'm not sure where your work would be lost. I know that I want to make sure that we don't have multiple copies of the document. Class summary. Because I had made a copy of the requirements matrix because I locked this one down so that Brother Williamson was the only one who could use it or see it. So, and just so you know, the reason why we didn't create a Word doc is it saved the QA team 6 to 8 hours of time. And Brother Williamson is just fine working with the Google Docs. So coming down to the documents. No, that's historical. Anyone have any other questions or concerns?
I do not at this moment.
Nope. Not right now.
Yeah.
I
So
don't.
somebody's already been going in and doing this. So
Has this been adjusted? Actually, real quick, has this all been adjusted since we took out, removed my section, the architecture section, to section 2 instead of section 3?
yeah, it has been adjusted.
Hasn't? Okay. All right. Then
It
we
has.
only need to adjust the what is it called? The table of contents then.
And that's why I'm saying that that Sarah's team is going to auto-generate it. Google has a table of contents feature which will auto-create it.
Okay.
So don't worry about the table of contents. Okay. So I've got to actually go. It looks like the traceability matrix. We need to update this link inside the version 2, which I thought that I had done, but apparently it's not. So to be the new traceability matrix down at the bottom of this document. And then I think we're good.
All right.
Sarah Bro, you've been kind of quiet. Do you have anything else that you wanted to add or needed to add?
Nope, I'm just kind of listening.
Okay. So I'm hoping that everybody will be able to have a wonderful Thanksgiving and we can make it through the presentations. and just so you know, Brother Williamson's okay with people making their questions easy.
Oh my gosh, yeah,
He doesn't.
please. Or at least reference what your questions actually. Oh my gosh. Sorry. Yes.
Ours are directly from our slides. So.
I know, same. I was like, oh man.
No, yeah, I know that when I went through and took the test, and that some people, one, didn't understand the material because their questions were wrong.
Uh-oh.
And yeah, I mean, there were some material misunderstandings, and then others where the questions were missing, like you said, or somebody on some of them, some people had actually marked the wrong answer. Of course, Brother Williamson didn't correct it, but you know.
There you go.
Okay, so that's updated. The traceability matrix is up. That's all good. And I think that that's fine. Unless there's anything else, I'd like to just say thank you, everyone. Thank you for your hard work. I know that we're all juggling a bazillion different things. You know, do as much as you can and make sure that your teams aren't burning out. You know, if people are reaching the end of their hours, allocate it to someone else or let me know and I can allocate time to others or just postpone it to version 3.
Okay.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Good to me.
And
Okay.
once we get
Thank you, everyone.
Wednesday?
Don't touch it.
Oh, I'm just telling Andrew to say after.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll
Once,
stay.
once we get the doc on Monday, don't touch it. Don't go and rearrange things. Don't copy and paste anything. Don't mess
On
with
Monday?
it.
No, just tell me.
Yeah.
Yeah. On Monday and Tuesday, the QA team, so the way that it's going to go, there's not going to be a time for you guys to go in and make changes on Monday or Tuesday. The QA team is going to do a pass-through, and then you guys are responsible for fixing that the following week. Okay, brother?
Oh, okay.
So once we get it, everyone else just
Well, my team has been.
don't look at it. Hands off.
Well, so what day were you planning on working on your stuff then, Sarah?
I've been working on mine throughout, but my team hasn't even touched it.
Well, they have until Monday, don't they?
They have until Saturday night.
I was not aware of that.
Well, I mean, if they want to work on Sunday, that's up to them. I'm not
Sorry,
pushing
I
anyone to work
thought-
on Sunday.
I thought we had longer, like till Tuesday, like normal. So that's why I'm confused. Okay.
Nope. My team gets it on Monday. We have Monday and Tuesday to QA.
All right. I would appreciate if that was clear next time. I did not know.
Okay. I will try and make that more clear. I thought I've made that pretty clear for a while.
Well, no, because there was
Monday.
the maybe the 22nd, but it was never finalized that I saw. But it might have been finalized, but then we missed that message, which sucks.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
Well,
luckily I've been
Okay.
doing some UML, so you know at least we'll have something.
I'll just.
Well, see what you can. I mean, that was why I was asking if we would still be okay with a Tuesday early date deadline, because I was worried about to get things done. Then, right, it does need to be cut off on Saturday night, and then the QA team has it on Monday and Tuesday.
Yeah. And honestly, I think you've been doing your work. I think you've been doing your work just fine. It's just your team.
And if I really have to go, but Sarah, if you want to talk to me maybe later tonight, maybe we can try and address some of those issues. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Bye.
All right.